Ever feel like AI is taking a test and we're the ones kind of sweating it out, hoping it passes, you know?
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Well, today we're diving deep into that world, AI evaluation, but not the can it write a haiku kind of test. We're going way deeper than that, into like the realm of true understanding.
It's like, you know how some people can solve a Rubik's Cube in seconds? Impressive, sure, but doesn't mean they understand astrophysics, right?
Exactly.
We need ways to figure out if AI is actually learning or just really good at mimicking.
And that brings us to, drum roll, the MMIE benchmark.
Kitschy.
Right, that's massive multimodal interleaved comprehension evaluation for all you acronym fans out there. And trust me, this is one worth knowing.
Definitely.
We're not talking about poems here. This is about testing if AI can actually grasp these complex concepts. And not just from text, but across text AD images.
Think of it like this. Imagine you're putting together, I don't know, some furniture, but the instructions are just totally scattered. Some steps are picture, some are those weird diagrams, some are text, and completely out of order. Ugh. Frustrating.
Right. So MMIE, it kind of throws those curveballs at AI, and we see if it can still, hit a home run.
And we're not talking about a small test here. We are talking over 20,000 challenges spanning 12 different fields: math, art, coding. It's designed to really push the limits of what these, they're called large vision language models, or LVLMs, what they can really handle.
Right, right. And just to clarify for our listeners, ever see a meme and just instantly get the joke, that's your brain doing LVLM work right there, connecting visuals and text like seamlessly.
Exactly. And MME, it pushes that even further. Most benchmarks out there, they just test one skill at a time, like caption this image. But MMIE, it demands more. It's like, combine this knowledge, make connections, think like we do.
Yeah, exactly. Like when we face a new situation, we don't just, use one part of our brain. It's everything working together.
And that brings us to the really, really interesting part. Even the AI superstars, they struggled with MME. We're talking GPT-4 level.
Yeah. Shows you this benchmark isn't messing around. No, not at all. And this isn't about like shaming the AI or anything. It's about finding those gaps, right?
Yeah.
So we can improve.
Precisely. If AI is going to be helping us with, medical diagnoses or these complex engineering projects, we need to know where it might trip up.
Oh, absolutely.
These failures, they're actually incredibly valuable. They're data points.
Okay, so how does this whole thing actually work? The research paper we dug into, it breaks MMA down into three main categories. First up, situational analysis. So picture this. You show an AI a comic strip or a series of photos from like a news event, and it has to figure out not just what's in the images, but the emotions, the underlying story.
The why behind the what.
Yes, like reading between the pixels.
It's that next level understanding, going beyond just, basic object recognition. Like, it's the difference between seeing a photo of someone smiling and understanding why they're smiling. Context is everything.
Okay, so we've got AI playing detective with pictures. What's the next challenge MMIE throws at them?
All right, so picture this. You're putting together, I don't know, one of those infamous bookshelves from, The Place.
Oh, you mean the ones with the instructions that are basically hieroglyphic?
Exactly. Except instead of even trying to have a manual, you've got this jumbled mess of, like, images, random text snippets, maybe a diagram or two.
Sounds like my nightmare.
Right. So that's basically the essence of project-based learning in MAE.
Okay, so it's like we're asking AI to basically wing it with assembling furniture. That's brutal, even for me, and I'm a human with opposable thumbs.
And that's the point. It's not enough for the AI to just blindly follow each step. It has to understand the goal, the why behind it all. Like, if AI is going to help us design a website or plan a trip, it can't just slap things together. It needs to get the big picture.
Right, the strategy behind it, not just the mechanics.
Exactly. Okay, so we've got AI playing detective with images, and now battling flat pack furniture. Ready for hurdle number 3.
Hit me with it. What other tests of digital are we putting these AIs through?
This is where it gets really interesting, at least for me. It's called multi-step reasoning, and it basically throws problems at the AI that unfold over time. Think about, like, a doctor diagnosing an illness. They don't just have all the answers right away.
Oh, yeah. No, it's a process.
Right. They need to gather symptoms, look at your history, maybe run some tests before they can put those pieces together.
So it's not just about understanding a single image or text. It's about connecting those dots over time. Yeah. Like those detective shows where they've got the photos and notes all over a board, drawing lines. Except It's happening inside the AI's brain.
Exactly. And this kind of reasoning, it's crucial if AI is going to be truly helpful in our lives. Think about financial planning, for example. It's not enough for AI to just look at your bank balance right now. It needs to consider your income, your spending habits, long-term goals.
Got to connect those dots, yeah. See the trends.
Right, right. Make those smart recommendations, not just the obvious ones.
Okay, so this is all incredibly fascinating, but
Yeah.
question. How do you even grade something this complex? This isn't like a multiple choice test. How do you tell if AI is being a good detective or a terrible furniture assembler?
You're totally right. It's way more nuanced than that. And that's another area where MMIE really stands out. They basically had to create a whole new way to evaluate AI, something that went beyond just simple right or wrong.
Okay, so walk me through this. How do you grade an AI on its ability to, like, be Sherlock Holmes?
All right, so they started with this massive data set. Think, AI-generated responses to all these MMIE challenges. Then they had human experts meticulously analyze and score each response.
So, like, they created a benchmark for the benchmark to make sure the grading system itself was legit.
Exactly. And here's the really clever part. They used all that human-annotated data to train a separate AI model.
Wait, so they're using AI to grade AI. That's some Inception level stuff. But it kind of makes sense. Like, you want a whole panel of judges for an Olympic sport, not just one person's opinion.
Sure. Precisely. And what they found was fascinating. This new AI-powered scoring system, it was incredibly aligned with how humans judged things, even more so than traditional methods. But here's what's really cool. MMIE doesn't just give a pass-fail grade. It actually dives into the types of errors AI makes.
Oh, so we're getting into the nitty-gritty now.
Oh, yeah, this is where it gets good. We're talking pinpointing those AI blind spots. And that's how we can help improve them.
Okay, all right, so spill the AI tea. What kind of errors are we talking about? Give us the lowdown on how AI messes up, even with all that processing power.
Okay, so imagine this. You've got this AI, right? And it writes out a perfect recipe, like every measurement, every instruction, flawless. But then you see the accompanying image.
Oh.
It's just this jumble of blobs. Colors, sure, but like nothing recognizable.
So, like, it can't even tell a whisk from a spatula.
Basically, this is what they call cross-modality coherence. The AI, it gets the individual concepts, but blending them visually, totally lost.
It's like they aced the written test, but when it came to showing their work, epic fail.
Right. And this highlights a big thing in AI development, actually. It's tough teaching machines to truly connect different types of info. Like our brains do it effortlessly, but for them, it's a whole thing.
It's like, yeah, we take it for granted, but visual and textual info, it all just kind of blends together in our heads.
Exactly. But it's not just about visuals either. Another common error. Inflexibility. Think of those customer service chatbots, right? The ones that give you the same canned response no matter what you ask.
Oh, the worst. Like talking to a wall.
Totally. They're missing that human touch, you know? The ability to adapt on the fly, deal with the unexpected.
We've all been there, stuck in chatbot purgatory.
Exactly. And this inflexibility, it's something MMIE tries to really poke at. Throwing curveballs at the AI, seeing if it breaks from the script.
Because real life, it's not about sticking to the script, that's for sure.
Right. Okay, so ready for another error category. This one's called multimodal comprehension. Basically, the AI might nail the text part of the challenge, ace it completely, but then totally miss crucial details in the image, or vice versa.
Oh, so it's like they studied for the wrong exam.
Kinda. It's like they brought their A game for one part, but completely forgot about the other half. And it really shows how complex our brains are, you know? Processing all this different stuff at the same time without even thinking about it.
It's like we don't realize how amazing we are just for understanding a simple meme.
Right. And then, of course, there's the big one. The ultimate hurdle, you might say, for AI. Complex reasoning.
Okay, get me with it.
So MMI, it includes challenges where the AI needs to grasp those long-term consequences. Make inferences that aren't just like surface level.
So not just knowing the rules, but understanding the strategy, like the psychology of the game.
Yes, seeing the bigger picture, the why behind the what. And this is where even the most sophisticated AIs, they're still playing catch up.
It's like the difference between solving an equation and truly understanding the math behind it. You know, like anyone can plug in numbers, but the real beauty, that deeper level, that's something else.
That's a great way to put it. And honestly, that's what makes MMIE so exciting. It's pushing those boundaries of AI understanding. And when AI understands, it can actually start to solve real problems, like our problems.
It's a journey, isn't it, this whole figuring out AI thing? But benchmarks like this, there are guideposts along the way.
Absolutely. And look, as AI keeps evolving,
Huh?
MIE, it's going to become even more important. We need these ways to separate the hype from the reality.
We need to make sure AI is actually beneficial, not just, another tech buzzword.
Well said. And on that note of, I guess you could say optimistic curiosity, I think it's time we wrap up our deep dive for today.
Yeah, this is a lot to think about.
It is. But for our listeners out there, just because an AI can write a catchy song or generate a pretty picture doesn't mean it understands the world like we do.
Yeah.
Not yet, anyway.
Not yet, but with tests like MMIE, who knows what the future holds? We're pushing the limits of AI, and that's what's exciting. We'll catch you all on our next deep dive into the world of artificial intelligence.